it is 11 o'clock. I think it is maybe a minute past 11, and we have for everybody that has dialed in, I want to say thank you very much and welcome to this webinar. It is our webinar number 15 in the series of I think we've scheduled about 42 webinars till the end of the year. And what we are actually doing is that we are actually working through the ISO standards, whether it doesn't matter which standard it is. All the standards has got basically the same information in clauses 4, 5, 6. 7 is a bit changing, and then 8 is changing as well, but 9 and 10 is fairly the same. So if we're looking at the ISO series that we've done here, we are busy with a specific environment at the moment, and if we're looking at the 7 principles for a successful management system, this is part and parcel of actually understanding the concept of ISO, and this is linked to every bit of the ISO structures that is actually embedded in all the clauses. So welcome to this webinar. I just want to give you just our guidelines. So please mute your microphone. Please make sure that it is muted. I'm also going to have my video off, that we've got for everybody a much clearer streaming, and that everybody can be present for the whole time. So please make sure that your video is off as well. When you are asking a question, please enable it, that we can see you then. And my presentation will take between 45 minutes and 50 minutes, 50, and we will have that now available for questions. And please, if you can, go and log your questions in the Zoom box, the Zoom chat box. Sorry for that one, and we will allocate 10 minutes afterwards to answer all the questions. And please do us now a big favor. Melissa has just joined us. She is our office administrator. So please give us, each and every one, give us your full names, your surname, your mobile number, your email address, and your company that you are working for in the chat box at the moment. Please go and do it immediately, because we want to send out to you a digital certificate that is actually giving you CPD points that you can use for your work, as well as this is actually part and parcel. If you're looking at ISO, the clause 7, the requirements there, it is about awareness, it is about training, it is about competencies. So we are actually giving you a certificate for this hour that you are spending with us. And I think that is fairly valuable. So please go and do it now immediately. Melissa will copy it, and she will take it over into our input sheet. And within the next 3 to 4 days, you will receive your attendance certificate on the email. So, and this webinar shall be recorded, so you can see that our recording is on. It is there in the middle, and it will be available on our YouTube channel that we've got. Please go there. We will give you the link afterwards, but and if we don't have the link, Dominique, can you please can you post the link on the chat box, please, that we can have the link out there. There's already, I think, 36 videos that is about 45 minutes to an hour long. So there's a lot of there's a body of knowledge that is lying there for you to be using, and you can take that and use it in your environment as well. And please go and subscribe there, and we will assist you with more and more valuable information. So if you go over, I just want to touch on the table of contents. The table of contents that we are going to be addressing is, firstly, who is Crest Advisor Africa, just a short overview of that, and then we are going to get into the 7 principles for management system success. Now, this is a document that is actually developed by the ISO structure in Geneva, and that has been linked specifically as as a fundamental document that is stretching across all the disciplines within ISO. And then if you've got time, I will show you the isolytic system. If you don't have time, I will not spend time on that. And then our endorsements and freebies, and then questions if there's any questions. So just want to, so if you're looking at who is Crest Advisor Africa, Crest Advisor Africa is a company that has been established by myself. I'm the founder and CEO of Crest Advisor Africa, and this was done on the 13th of June 2014. So we are just over 6 years old or young. We are specializing in corporate governance. So in corporate governance, we are actually speaking about all the pillars of corporate governance, whether it is enterprise risk management, business continuity, compliance management, health and safety. We've got asset management that is ISO 55000. We've got anti-bribery management that is fairly strong as well in ISO 37001. So we are, as a company, we are at the moment certified for about 17 management systems. Now all of those are giving us diversity, firstly, but it is also giving us cross-pollination within ourselves, as well as to know that if we are conducting any work for our clients, we are not looking at tunnel vision. We are actually looking broader than only what you are actually giving us there. So this is a very important part here. We are a platinum partner of the Professional Evaluation Certification Board, the PECB, and that is in Canada. As you can see, we are fairly proud of this partnership, because there's only out of the 1,972 accredited partners globally with the PCB, we are one of 18 at the moment that has got the platinum partnership. So that is fairly unique. All right. So if you're looking at our offerings, we are having 10 offerings that we are putting out into the market. And firstly, this has to do with training. The training, our forte there is the 17 management systems and more. We have just added ISO 29100, and that has been issued, I think, by the ISO about 3 months ago, and it is available now for training, and that is information management. So we are also conducting advisory services. That is our second offering. Then we are doing audits. Now in this spectrum, it is very important to understand that if we are talking about the 3 lines of defense, there are also 3 lines of types of audits. The first one that you are actually getting is that you are auditing yourself. So it is your auditing environment that is auditing the business in itself. On the second line, we are talking about the business is auditing the clients, the suppliers. That is actually part and parcel of the business, as well as the clients of the business can come and audit you as well. So if you have got a client like a regulator, they can come and do audits for you whenever they want. So that is a level 2 audit. And then the level 3 audit has to do with specifically external audits or independent audits, like our offering number 10. So that is about audits, our products. We've got fantastic management system toolkits that is already built for all 17 of these standards. So, and we are growing. We'll be at about 20 standards by the end of September, October. So very important. We are actually, if you are in a competitive environment, we are creating for you the speed of implementation with our products, with specifically our premium toolkits. Now that is available. You can just ask us and we will assist you there. Then our technology, as you can see here on the right hand side at the bottom, we are talking about the Isolytics. Now Isolytics is a specific system that we have developed for the ISO environment to be implementing and to be auditing, and actually to be auditing in a remote space. Because as you know, for the last 5 months, we were fairly homebound and working from home, so no audits could have been taken place in this period. We have actually built this technology for our internal audits and for our internal implementation to have a competitive edge in the market. And we have decided with our partners, one of the leading universities in South Africa, to put this out to our clients and assist them, as well as the standards organizations, to assist them with auditing. Then our resource and talent management, that is headed up by Linda. Linda is a seasoned talent manager, so and a recruiter, so she will help you tremendously there. Our project management environment, that has to do with engineering environments, fire environments, etc., is a very important part of our offering. Our cyber forensics as well. As you know, people are now, all of you are now sitting actually behind a computer or with a cell phone in your hands. So the digital space is going to be growing exponentially over the next, it has actually grown already since March, and it will just go on growing. And then back office support, we have seen in the market that companies are actually going into business rescue. A lot of the big companies are going into business rescue, whether it is the airline services, etc. And the core of the business are staying behind. So we are also offering back office support that has to do with, we will do all the administration for you. You can do what you need to do. That is your core business. And then our flagship is our international certification of persons, of products, of management systems, of training organizations, trainers, and auditors. So with that said, just want to explain to you, we have been fortunate to go into a partnership with, or not into partnership, into a merger with a big global company. So at the moment, we have got a footprint as Crest Advisor Africa in about 34 countries. So our client base is very strong as well as very diverse. So very important that you are actually knowing that, and that we are a global company. So we are dealing with validity here, as well as with our structures that we've got in place. So if you're looking at the 7 ISO management principles, now the 7 ISO management principles is looking like this. So firstly, we are speaking about customer focus. If you are starting with any business, your business is actually supposed to provide services or to sell products to a client, isn't it? So your focus is not internally. It is actually, how can I start a business to serve some kind of purpose outside into the market, whether it is on products or services. So we will be focusing on customers first. The second one, without leadership, without visionary leadership, you are losing traction and you are losing focus. I have seen this many a times with either startup companies, with either SMMEs, as well as with big companies, that leadership, the moment that leadership has changed, you will see either a good change or a bad change. We've got one of our clients that we've been working with. It is a state-owned enterprise. Their CEO, his contract was finished about 3 years ago, and they were earning all the accolades that they could under this CEO. The next one that was appointed, this person has actually driven that company that is SOE into the ground. So at the moment, they are in business rescue. They are liquidated. They cannot do anything. So leadership is very critical. Engagement of people, we will touch on that. Process approach, very important. None of the things that we are doing is a quick fix. There's always a process. So if you're looking at your processes, there's always a start of a process and there's always an end of a process. And your start of a process is the output from another process, and the end of your process is the input into another process. So your interconnectivity and your interdependency is critical that you're looking at that. Then we're talking about improvement. Now improvement, if you know the ISO standards, it is always in clause 10. So clause 10.2 is speaking about clause 10 is speaking about improvement, and clause 10.1 is speaking about the management of non-conformities, and 10.2 is speaking about continuous improvement. So what do you do in continuous improvement? And then if you're looking at evidence-based decision making, if you are making decisions without considering the risk and the opportunities, as well as your cash flow and everything that is actually in your company, then you don't have a reason to make a decision. So if you have got the evidence, it is very easy, because then you've got options. We are busy at the moment looking at engaging a specific or companies for a specific service within Crest, and we've got 4 or 5 applications there and tenders there, and what we are seeing is that one of the companies know exactly what they're doing. We can see that in the preparation of the proposal. The other companies is just giving you fluff, and they don't even know what they are asking of you themselves and what is going to be the deliverables that you are going to have. So evidence-based decision making is extremely important. And then your relationships. Your relationship management, whether you've got vendors, whether you've got suppliers, clients, how do you manage your relationships? And because if you are, if there is any trust that is actually lost within a relationship, that relationship is over. You cannot mend it. And in that relationship, you have actually built possibly for the last 4 to 5 years. And if you are losing trust, then your relationship is over. You cannot go on from there. So firstly, I'm going to address each of these principles, starting with customer focus. So principle 1 has to do with customer focus, and customer focus has to do with the organization depend on their customers and therefore should understand current and future customer needs, and should meet customer requirements and strive to exceed customer expectations. This is a very strong explanation of what are we looking for if we are saying that we are customer focused. We need to know what is our customers actually doing, what is their need, can we apply our product and services to address a need there, and can we actually exceed our customer expectations. So what is the implication on the management system implementation for your success? It's firstly researching and understanding your customer needs and expectations. What is the need there? You can go into I was part and parcel of the Gautrain system, as well as on various boards and tender committees that we've been sitting, and people are presenting to you sometimes a proposal, but they don't know what they are asking. They are telling you what they can do, but they don't know what is your need. So they are actually coming into your space with a shotgun approach. So if I get this, I can get that. That is totally off the radar here, because if you are interested in your customer, you will go and look at what is the need of your customer, and what is the expectations there. Secondly, ensuring that the objectives of the organization are linked to customer needs and expectations. Critical here. What is the objectives? What is the objectives of you engaging with a vendor or a supplier or a customer? What is the objectives there? And how can you address their needs and expectations? Thirdly, we're speaking about communicating customer needs and expectations throughout the organization. Now, this is a critical part within clause 7 of the ISO, is how do you create awareness, communication and training, and how do you actually expand your customer view and your customer approach throughout the organization, that each and every person knows that we are first and foremost customer driven, and we are first and foremost customer focused. And without that, it doesn't matter what is happening at work, the customer that is sitting in front of you are the most important person for that 15 minutes or 20 minutes, nothing else. And then systematically managing customer relationships. How do you grow your customer relationships if you don't get feedback? Feedback and surveys as a measurement is very important to make sure that the monitoring, measurement, analyzing, and evaluation part of the management system are complied with. And then ensuring a balanced approach between satisfying customers and other interested parties, such as owners, employees, suppliers, financiers, local communities, and the society as a whole. Very important that you are looking at your stakeholders, because your stakeholders is actually driving your business. If you are not looking at your stakeholders, and I'm talking about shareholders, I'm talking about stakeholders. Shareholders is looking at how can I profit out of this environment. I am putting that aside. It is not about profit here. It is about how do I balance the approach between satisfying my customers and my stakeholders, my interested parties. It is of critical importance that is actually understood, and that you are actually mapping that on a power influence matrix that we will speak about in another webinar. That matrix is critical, because you can speak to somebody, but that person, whether it is the owner, employee, supplier, has got tremendous power or tremendous influence in the organization. And if you are starting to actually map the power and influence matrix with your interested parties, you will know exactly which ones do you need to spend more time on, which ones do you actually have to have a higher person in the organization to go and address that particular stakeholder. If you're looking at principle number 2, leadership, I would actually put leadership as principle 1, but the ISO, the organization has put customer focus as principle 1. But leadership, without strong leadership, your organization is going nowhere. You are either maintaining the status quo and you are staying where you are. So if you're looking at leadership, so leadership establish unity and purpose and direction of the organization. That is a short sentence, but it is actually having a huge impact, because the unity of purpose and direction of the organization is actually, where do I want to be in 5 years? Not what is my immediate needs that I have to pay the telephone bill or the Wi-Fi bill. It is not about that. It is about what is your futuristic thinking? How do you future-proof your organization? How do you make sure that your organization is still relevant, suitable, adequate, and can actually be effective and efficient in 5 years' time? And they should create and maintain the internal environment in which people can become fully involved in achieving the organization's objectives. They are actually calling this in leadership, how do you create conditions for people to actually flourish? How do you create conditions for people to actually stand up in a meeting and can actually have and input in that meeting that is valuable? How do you create those conditions for your internal environment? And your internal environment is your personnel, it's your governance, it's your policies and procedures, it is your systems, it is your culture in your organization, it is your stakeholder partnerships, etc. So all of those are critical, even between departments now as well, that you are not sitting isolated in one vertical and you are not looking at can I link to another vertical. So the management system implication here is, firstly, considering the needs of all interested parties, including the customers, owners, employees, suppliers, financiers, local communities, and the society as a whole. Now, if you look at this, this is actually in clause 4. This is where you are sitting in clause 4, that there is a requirement within the ISO standard to say that top management shall conduct an internal and an external assessment of the business. And this is where you are going to be looking at, firstly, your legislation that is driving you, your stakeholders, your financiers, what is the environment that you are creating with your policies and procedures and your governance. Are you adopting best practices like ISO 9001 possibly, or business continuity 22301? Are you adopting those, and are you actually make that part and parcel of the company? Then establishing a clear vision of the organizational future. If a leader doesn't have a vision of a 5-year vision or a 7-year vision, then you are always going to be operationally involved. You are always going to look what is immediately in front of you, and you are going to play that kind of a game just to see where's the ball now, and you are just going to kick that ball that is in front of you, instead of standing back, looking at the whole game and say, but if we are doing A, B, and C, we will actually outmaneuver our competition. Very important that a clear vision is, where do we want to be in 5 years and how do we get there? And the how do we get there is your objectives. And then setting challenging goals and targets. Now, if you have got the vision, you know that you are going to be, even if it is a financial vision, if you are saying my company needs to grow from 15 million turnover to 50 million, how do you get there? Whether it is rands, US dollars, Zim dollars, it doesn't matter. How do you get from 15 million to 50 million? And then you have to look at, what is my return on investment? What is my actually profit basis? So there's a lot of measurements that is actually included there. And you can only do that by setting your goals, objectives, and targets, and then creating and sustaining shared values. Now, shared values is very easy to do in a small organization. You can, with 10, 15 people, or even 50 people, you can have shared values, because you can actually make sure that everybody adhere to the safety rules, that everybody is adhering to teamwork, everybody is adhering to trust, to building A, B, and C. But the moment that you are starting to be actually growing, to be decentralized, and for leadership to be actually taking place in those spaces, your shared values need to be then driven with a particular objective, as well as fairness and ethical role models at all levels of the organization. Very important that ethical role models is actually sitting there, or not sitting, they are actually leading by example. So the leading by example and creating those iconic models, just like if we are talking about the South African history, everybody will speak about the role of Mandela. Whether it was when he was in jail, it is actually, they will not speak about that actually, but from 1990, when he was now released and started to be part and parcel of the change of South Africa, that created for everybody a shared value, fairness. He was a very fair man. Ethical role models. He was the bastion of ethical role models. He was the pillar in the society that was actually the bigger brand than Coca-Cola and Pepsi. The Mandela brand was actually, is still one of the best role models that you can have. And then we are talking about establishing trust and eliminating fear. Now, I want to just stop here quickly, because if we look at this, in every situation where there's somebody that you are reporting into, or there is somebody that has got oversight and has got your career in their hands, there is usually I want to say, a bit of fear, because you can change a person's career by actually investing in them or not investing in them and actually putting them at risk. So, and if you cannot build the trust in a relationship, then you are going to create fear, definitely. And if you are the leader that is leading by fear, guys, then you have to do, then you have to go and do introspection, really. Then we are talking about providing people with the required resources, training and freedom. And freedom, I want to say the freedom to act with responsibility and accountability. Now, if you're looking at this part, if your employees doesn't know that you are working with a specific model of delegation. Now, I just this morning had a discussion with my own staff about the Blanchard model. Now, if you know the Blanchard model, it is actually starting, it is actually 4 quadrants. The left bottom is actually indicating there that you are starting with a new employee by giving direction, by giving instructions, until you are actually building trust. And then you are actually moving away from that block, from that quadrant into the next quadrant, that you are actually starting with a mentorship program. So that mentorship program is very critical, because you are actually, everything that is here above, you are actually transferring those kind of skills to the to that employee. Now, if you are then evaluating the situation, whether it is a month, 2 months, or 3 months, that you can say, but now you can actually go and do it yourself. I will be a coach on a distance. You can come in every, we are having a set meeting every 2 weeks or once a month, and I will be your coach. And then if the coaching part is finished, then you are going, only then you are going over to, I can delegate a task to you. I can trust you. This one, I can trust you without you fearing that you are going to make a fault, and that there's going to be a repercussion on you. Without that, that you are actually giving people the responsibility and accountability that you need to have. And then we are speaking about inspiring, encouraging, and recognizing people's contribution. And we are even doing that here. Even for your attendance, we are giving you a certificate. We are building your CV. We are building your own, I want to say, persona, your own brand. So yes, inspiring, encouraging, and recognizing people's contribution, that goes far. Even a simple certificate of acknowledgement. Guys, people love that. Then we're speaking about engagement of people as principle 3. So engagement of people is people at all levels, and I want to say here again, at all levels, are the essence of an organization, and their full involvement enables their abilities to be used for the organization's benefit. Now, you as a person that is actually working for a company, you are actually selling your time to that company. And with the customer focus, with the leadership, and now with engagement of people, you can sell your time. But if you've got a bad attitude, I've been addressing this last week. If your attitude stinks, you are not going to benefit the organization at all. You are actually going to be drawing back that organization from achieving its objectives. You are going to be the nail in the tire that is actually giving the company a slow puncture. So you need to be looking at what is the abilities that you can contribute to the company, and that the company can actually benefit from that. So the implications on the management system is, firstly, people understanding the importance of their contribution and role in the organization. If they don't understand this, they are not competent. If they don't understand this and your vision, they are not going to follow you. They are going to follow somebody else. And then you are sitting in a dark place in your organization. Secondly, people identifying constraints to their performance. Now, this constraints is very important, because if you're doing a SWOT analysis that was actually that we did in, I think, webinar 10, constraints is actually what is your strengths, what is your weaknesses, what is your opportunities, and what is your threats for that person themselves. If they are strong in verbalizing things, but or a message, but they are not strong in actually business writing, how do you assist that person to actually overcome the business writing part of it? How do you enable that person? People accepting ownership of problems and their responsibility for solving them. I am always saying that I will give you an impossible task, um, that I know that is for you mentally impossible. For me, I could see that you can actually do that from previous experiences. Now I am stretching your ability, and the only person that can actually fail there is you, because that ability is actually creating for you, giving you a problem, challenging you with a problem, and actually asking you to get a solution for that. And there is no repercussion there. It is only that I want to see what is, can I delegate my work, or the work that is in your environment, can I delegate it now to you? And will we have the same kind of standards and objectives, and for you to be taking the responsibility for that. And then people evaluating their performance against their personal goals and objectives. Now, I want to ask you, I've been doing this, this sentence here, actually, I've been doing this since the middle 90s with my staff. Every year, I am asking them, write for me on a piece of paper that we are actually embedding into an envelope. The direct staff that is working for me and close to me, I am asking, what is your personal objectives, goals and objectives for this year? And you are the only person that is going to be knowing it. I will collect it. It'll be sealed. It'll be in my office safe, and only at the end of the year or every quarter, we will decide, do we open it or not? Did you reach your personal goals? And personal goals in a business is, do I get acknowledgement? Do I get a promotion? Is there a career path for me? If we're looking at a business now as well, is it safe enough for me to actually work there? Is it secure enough? What is the business opportunities? What is my personal growth opportunities there? If you're looking at your personal space, there's about eight of them, eight of these objectives, and we are speaking there about financial objectives. We are speaking about your family objectives, your community objectives, your relationships, your religion, your fitness, all those kind of objectives. There's about eight of them that we are addressing there. But do you actually have this, that you can evaluate your own performance there? And then people are actively seeking opportunities to enhance their competence, knowledge, and experience. They cannot do that if you don't give them stretching, they're calling this stretched assignments. If you cannot have a stretch assignment given to a person, you don't have trust in that person. But if you are allocating a stretched assignment that is actually on a higher level that that person even thinks that they are, if you can give them that stretch assignment and see that stretch assignment to be delivered, and to see that, yes, this person has actually was spot on with about 80% or 85% of this task, then you can see that you can trust that person to give that person already a higher position, even if it's just mentally, because they have to grow in their competence, they have to grow in their knowledge, they have to grow in their experience. That is a given. If people don't grow with their personal goals and objectives, they are stagnating. Now, if you are, I am I am using this example, if you are positioned at the North Pole and you are standing still there on the top of the world, on the top of Earth, where are you going to? And you are standing still. Where are you going to? And the answer to this is Earth is revolving the whole time. So if you are standing still, the Earth and everybody else on Earth is actually moving forward, and you are moving backwards. So the gap between the forward move and the backwards move is actually the gap that you need to go and work harder on to actually get back, because your gap analysis in that space is actually coming back to your competence, your knowledge, and your experience. If you are saying that I've been working 20 years for this company, but I have only been sitting as a receptionist and I'm very experienced, really? You have been doing one job, one type of thing for 20 years over and over again. No, you don't have experience. You don't have experience outside of that specific environment. You need to give yourself stretched assignments, and you need to be actually looking for places where you can volunteer for stretch assignments. And then people freely sharing knowledge and experience. People don't do this. Really, people don't do this. They are thinking that if I am keeping all the knowledge to myself, then nobody can compete with me. Yes, it is like that. But you are creating an island. If there's something happening to you, there's no succession plan there. If you don't share with other people, just remember, if you are sharing with other people, you are the leader. If people need to ask you to share, all right, then you are actually a follower. So you need to decide, where are you? Are you a leader or are you a follower? And then people only openly discussing problems and issues. And this is to actually identify how can we perform better? How can we make sure that we can actually build a better business? If we go over to principle number 4, the process approach. The process approach is a desired result in achieving more efficiently when activities and related resources are managed as a process. Now, this is, if we're looking at efficiently, effectiveness and efficiency is actually two nice words that you need to actually understand. Effectiveness is the job done as it is now required to be done? Efficiently is actually looking at, can this job be, or this task be executed with less resources, with less man hours, with less money, with less dependency on anything else, that you can actually build a better system, a cheaper system for everybody. We are busy at the moment. We will put this offering out as one of our technologies. With for the last 4 months, we've been working with a software that is actually looking at the health and safety and the work environment for people working from home with their business computers, everything that we have installed on all our business computers, and as well as other companies now as well. And now we can actually measure, firstly, how many licenses do we have in the company. In one company that we have done it was 485 people that was actually working in the company, and all of them has got licenses. But only for 3 months, only 425 people are actually working with the licenses. There's actually a gap of 60 people that this company has been paying licenses for, that didn't even work on that system for 3 to 4 months. So now the question is, with evidence, do we still keep those people or do we still keep that license that we've got for that person? My suggestion was no. Cancel that license cost, because now as a company with our system, we can now actually see which of your systems are operating well, how many people are actually using it, how much time are they spending on it, that we can actually determine what is the processes that they are using and how do you optimize your efficiency of your environment. So the management systems implications is here for systematically defining the activities necessary to obtain the desired results, establishing clear responsibilities and accountability for managing key activities. Very important, key activities, not only about every activity, and we're talking here about the Pareto principle. 80% of your business is normal, the 20% is critical. So what is your key activities? And then analyzing and measuring of the capability of key activities, and then identifying the interfaces of key activities within and between the functions of the organization, and focusing on the factors such as resources, methods, and material that will involve the activities of the organization. And I just want to stop there for a second. If you look at the Ishikawa risk assessment or the fishbone analysis, one of the methods has to do with the six M's. It is methods, it is material, it is everything to do with the 6 methods of material and methods and your resources, etc. So if you're analyzing that, you can actually see where are your performance and where are they being rated in that assessment. And then evaluating risks, consequences, and impacts of activities on customers, suppliers, and other interested parties. This must be done in clause number 4 of ISO. Improvement, principle number 5. We've got 2 left. I see that we are still fairly on time. So continual improvement of the organization's overall performance should be a permanent objective of the organization. Not a once-off, a permanent objective of the organization. If we have sold 100,000 of X last month, we need to see, can we possibly increase that with 10%? And for the next month with 10%, and the next month with 10%. That's a permanent objective of the organization, continual improvement. Now, continual improvement is going back to leadership, is going back to process, is going back to your customer focus, is going back to everything that we have already spoken about. And this has to do with employing a consistent organization-wide approach to continual improvement of the organization's performance. Now, organization's performance is the overarching performance of the organization, and you need to be looking at from finance to HR to supply chain, everywhere there. Secondly, providing people with training in the methods and tools of continual improvement. How do you drive continual improvement if people don't even understand what is the methods and the tools? Making continual improvement of products, processes, and systems an objective for every individual in the organization. So that should be a personal objective now as well. And establishing goals to guide and measure, to track continual improvement. What is your measurement of continual improvement? If we talk about risk management has got, it is actually like a coin. On the one side of the coin, you've got risk, but on the other side, you've got opportunities. So if you're just focusing on the risks, you are not going to look at the opportunities. That's a given. And those opportunities, your competitor will take that opportunities because maybe they are focusing on the opportunities. They've got a balanced approach between risk and opportunities. So those opportunities is continual improvement. Even if it's a process that you can improve, that is actually giving your company drive to a permanent, to continual improvement. And then recognizing and acknowledging improvements. Very important. People need to be recognized. People need a simple word. Thank you. I acknowledge you. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. That's very important because people don't see each other. They just pass each other. So acknowledge and see each other. Please see people for what they are and for what they can be and give them stretch assignments. And then we are going over into, and you can hear, that is one of my passions. So um, principle 6, evidence-based decision making. As I said earlier, if you don't have evidence, how can you make decisions? So effective decisions are based on the analysis of data and information. And analysis of data and information means that there should be somewhere a measurement, whether you are monitoring something, whether you are doing anything, whether there's a checklist, whether there's a system that is checking time and attendance, you've got data, you've got information, and that should be analyzed. And for you to actually make decisions. So what we have seen with that system that I was speaking about earlier is that we have actually installed it for this company, and we are seeing people that knows they are monitored on the usage of the laptop and the systems, etc. And the objective of that was not performance management. It was actually looking at that people are, during working from home, that they are not exerting themselves and working 12 hours a day where they are supposed to be working 8 hours a day. And we have picked those people up that is actually working on the business systems for 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And we were saying, hey, stop, please. We are looking at you. You are going to have burnout. On the flip side, we have also seen people that is actually working 2 hours a day on their business systems. Some people that is not even logging on to their systems for 3 days, 4 days, and they are working from home. They are when they were at work, they were sitting and we could walk past and we could see them. Now that they're working from home, there's no monitoring, there's no measurement. Now we can see that, wow, do I need this person actually? Do I actually or do I need to address this person? And I want to ask you, if there's going to be retrenchments, who are the people that's going to be first on the list? You are identifying yourself, nobody else. So ensuring that your data and information are sufficiently accurate and reliable, making data accessible to those who need it. And we are sending those reports even to those people specifically, and they don't change their habits and their behavior. Now, who's at fault there? The bosses? The leadership? No, not at all. Analyzing data and information using valid methods and making decisions and taking action based on factual analysis, balanced with experience and intuition. And that is a good auditing environment then that you are working with. And then our last principle is relationships. People, relationships is the biggest thing that you can actually build or that you can destroy. And if you are looking at relationships and you cannot build a relationship with people, then your customer focus is going to be challenged now as well. Your leadership is going to be challenged as well. So for your relationships and organization and its suppliers are interdependent. Very important here that you are not seeing those people as they are the outsiders. Yes, it is outsourced. No, you have outsourced it with a specific purpose. You have outsourced it because it is not your core business. Give us your non-core business and we will manage that you can focus on your core business, because your core business makes money. All the other things are just support to your core business. And mutually beneficial relationships enhances the ability of both to create value. This is so extremely important. And if you're looking at the implications on the management system, is establish relationships that balance short-term gains with long-term considerations. They have to be a, an operational objective, yes, a tactical objective, as well as a strategic objective. We can also speak about what is your short game and what is your long game. How do you work with this specific supplier, vendor, client, or stakeholder? Pooling of experience and resources with partners. Pooling them. So this is why you are getting shared services. This is why we are talking about, we are providing you in our business. One of our business objectives is actually pooling our expertise, put it into one space, and we are doing work for various companies, for tender, for admin, etc. Identifying and selecting key suppliers. Who's your key suppliers? Who's the best key supplier in your environment that you can actually take them by the hand and walk a path and a journey with them? Clear and open communication. Very important, and trusted in communication. Sharing information of future plans. Where are we going to? We had a fantastic discussion yesterday with a client, and this client was saying to us, my plan for 2023 is this. Can you help me there? Can you give me a route map of getting there? And that's easy. We can do that. And this is for a huge company that is internationally global. But share with us your future plans, and we can see how do we do that for the best efficiency and effectiveness, and establish joint development and improvement activities. Very important. You cannot sit outside of the company and then think that your suppliers are going to be aligned with you. Maybe me as or our company as a supplier are on a much higher maturity base as what you are. And now we are speaking past each other. Our cultures are different. We need to be aligned. And this can only improve your activities, and inspiring, encouraging, and recognizing improvements and achievement by suppliers. This is the same as your own personnel. You need to acknowledge them. Some companies are working with a huge contingent of consultants because they can let them go immediately. There's no, they can just end a contract within 30 days. There's no CCMA or a legal employment employee discussion even. It is just that we can do that much easier. So this was the 7 the principles there. I'm not going to address the analytic system today. I am going to go to our last page, freebies and attending this webinar. Guys, we will send you with your for the information that you have actually sent us on for the certificates. We will go and register you on our analytic system, and we will give you 6 weeks for gratis and for free. So please go and use it. It's a fantastic system. If you want to have one-on-one sessions with us, contact us. We will do that for you anytime. And then book your seat for next Wednesday, 11 to 12. This is our time that we are spending together. And I want to say thank you to everybody for your attendance here. And I want to ask, Helene, I see that you are present. Is there any questions that we need to address, or any feedback that we need to have? Yes.
No, I think there wasn't any questions on the chat box. We've got most of the people's details, so we will be able to issue the certificates. There was just a comment from Kyle saying, "Wonderful webinar, thank you."
Thank
so
you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kyle.
Nothing else there.
Fantastic. So if you want to share this, please go to our designer will, our systems administrator will put this on the YouTube channel, and you will see that this is webinar number 15. So please go and check it, go and download it, give it to your to the people at your work, because sometimes you need somebody else to speak on your behalf.
Hey.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much, and hope to see you next week at the same time, same place, and same place. It is possibly again behind the same computer that you've got. All right. See you and have a lovely day. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.